For a party that has spent the last decade lecturing us about cancel culture, they sure want to cancel a lot of people. And it turns out they have some of the thinnest skin that there is.
What the deal is, man? I hope y'all doing good today, because right now I'm going to be reacting to a video by MS Now. And I really wanted to react to this video because they said something in the video that really spoke to me. He mentioned how people on the right or Republicans are always preaching or lecturing us about freedom of speech, you know what I'm saying? And it seemed like they only love to reference that when it comes to disrespecting people or disrespecting a race of a certain people or a group of certain people, because it seems like now all of a sudden freedom of speech isn't cool, because it seems like they forget the fact that freedom of speech is also freedom of criticism. And what I mean by that is, if we are allowed to say whatever we want, that means we can say whatever we want about whoever we want, if I'm saying that right. You get me? So with that being said, I'm going to jump on into this video so y'all can get this context.
They simply want to harass James Comey, and it's not insignificant. Comey's going to have to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawyers. It's intimidating for anyone else who wants to criticize the president. It's an authoritarian technique. And at the same time, there hasn't been a single investigation or prosecution of the men who raped young girls. They have basically allowed the rich and powerful to get away with things while they engage in political retribution.
Speaking of that, you have a letter out to acting AG Blanche demanding answers on Epstein file release. This is from April 15th. Let me read just a little bit from it. I write to express serious concerns regarding the Department of Justice's failure to provide transparency about the full universe of records associated with the Jeffrey Epstein investigation, including the approximately 6 million files the department has repeatedly referenced, but not fully released.
And I'd like to talk about that. I have to stop the video to mention that, remember in the other video I was just reacting to, we spoke about how there's been over 50 investigations opened on different universities, I think including what it said, Harvard, for the BIPOC, you know. They had basically grants of scholarships to certain things that would help Black, indigenous people of color you know, succeed. You see what I'm saying? Let's just say that, you know what I mean? And being that we are, you know, we don't have as much resources and, you know, we not, you know what I'm saying? And so Trump has got all the investigations going to the into those universities for discrimination against white people because, like I said, it's BIPOC. So it's crazy how he can open those investigations, you know, 50 investigations to say it, right? And I'm gonna do a little AI quick lookup overview thing so I can post it right here on the screen. But it just it should blow your mind that that they not taking that same initiative, you feel me, on the files being released, and the 6 million. And then if I'm not mistaken, this lady's finna say something about deadlines. I'm gonna take it back a little bit.
Deadline to respond was today. Have you? The deadline to respond was today. Have you heard from the DOJ?
We have not, but the good news is that Pam Bondi is going to come to the oversight. We're going to ask her. We're going to continue to push for the truth. The truth will come out for 3 reasons. One, now you have the DOJ Inspector General who's going to be doing a report whether they complied with the law. Second, you have the GAO, which is going to be doing a report whether they complied with the law. And third, you have Katie Fang, who's introduced a lawsuit saying they're in violation of the Administrative Procedures Act, and they have harmed every single person who needs these files. The survivors want the files released. They want to see investigations and prosecutions. We just had a roundtable with them. No one is going to give up until we get the truth.
So, Congressman, we've got Epstein, we've got Seychelles, and we have Jimmy Kimmel. And this is kind of rounding out our week here. with this administration and their cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Let's listen to Jimmy Kimmel last night regarding Trump and Melania. Let's listen to that.
Here it go, y'all.
Our first couple, Donald and Melania, who lately have seemed closer than ever, and I like to think I played a part in that. Give him a golden bell from the Trump submarine. What if he starts wearing it, jingling his way around the White House? Could be a game changer for Melania at night.
Kimmel, the matchmaker. But not to be outdone, Donald Trump had
He was roasting, I guess, right? I mean, but freedom of speech, right? Or do they only mean freedom of speech when you calling somebody a racial slur? Because it seemed like to me that's whatever.
a repost, shall we say, this morning. Let's take a listen to that.
Here's Donald Trump's response.
Actually, it's a full screen. Sorry. He said, when is ABC fake news network firing seriously unfunny Jimmy Kimmel, who incompetently presides over one of the lowest rated shows on television? People are angry. It better be soon. President DJT. Congressman, you've got the president, very much to Simone's opening question to you, focused on all the trivialities of the world, all the stuff that doesn't matter, whether or not, some night host comedian, late night host comedian is having fun, satirical fun with him and the first lady. He's focused on that. He's focused on his ballroom. Meanwhile, as a member of Congress, you're sitting there being asked to find another $1.5 trillion to give to the Department of War for a war the country doesn't want to be in.
Well, for a party that has spent the last decade lecturing us about cancel culture, they sure want to cancel a lot of people. And it turns out they have some of the thinnest skin that there is. Now, look, this would be funny if it weren't as serious. I was talking to senior people at ABC. The FCC is actually threatening their license because they think that ABC is too diverse, but doing it right after Jimmy Kimmel made those jokes. And at the same time, Hegseth was before my committee. He could not answer how much the war is costing the American people. Turns out it's $631 billion at least when you look at the price of food, price of gas, $5,000 for every family. He said that was a gotcha question. How dare members of Congress ask how much is this war in Iran costing the American people? So these are unserious times. We have an unserious president.
Y'all should have realized how unserious this man was when y'all see him tweeting so much. Bruh. I don't know. It's like, of course, I wasn't even into Twitter, nothing like that. But like, I could always see on Facebook, on Instagram, any other than social medias that I am on, I could see somebody posting a Trump tweet, calling black people animals, calling Nazis good people. You see what I'm saying? So in my mind, I was just thinking like, dang, why he tweet so much? I even thought it was weird when regular people tweet so much. But I used to have people. When I made a Twitter, I started seeing people tweet, man, I'm hungry, I'm finna get some food. Man, I'm tired, I'm finna go to sleep. And I don't have no problem with that, right? But it was seeming like people just would be tweeting every little boring moment of their life. You see what I'm saying? In my mind, I'm thinking like, dang, why is Trump tweeting like this? This man supposed to be professional president of the United States, man. Like, set a bad example, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, they should have known how unserious he was when they seen how obsessed he was with tweeting. Like, nigga, you a president or a social media influencer, nigga?
And that would be funny if it weren't for the fact that our troops are dying and Americans are bearing higher gas, food, and electricity costs.
You've said a lot right there, sir. I guess along those lines then, the last question I have for you is, given everything that this government is engaging in, I think we look to the independent agencies, right, the inspector generals, the independent folks inside these agencies to help get answers for folks like yourself and the lay people out here. Do you have faith that the Government Accountability Office or even the Department of Justice Inspector General is still operating in an independent capacity?
I do. Now, as you remember, Trump tried to fire a lot of them, and he has put in some of the lackeys. But some of the reports we get from the DOD and the DOJ have been actually transparent. So I'm going to continue to give them the benefit of the doubt. But this is not rocket science. They haven't complied with the law. They admit not complying with the law. It just would be good for having some independent agencies say that. And I want to just remind folks, so everyone sometimes comes to me, Ro, why are you still talking about Epstein? I'm talking about Epstein because the survivors still haven't had justice. We just had a roundtable. It was Virginia Giuffre's 1-year anniversary. Her brother was in tears. This is real. It's destroyed a lot of lives. And those of us who have made it a cause are not going to rest until we get justice.
All right, y'all. So y'all got to let me know, of course, what y'all think, man. If you feel like dropping a comment, of course, man, do let me know below. You see what I'm saying? And with that being said, I'm going to catch y'all on the next one.